Hello and welcome. You're tuned into the Small and Mid Cap Show. I'm Hiral Dadia and with me is Harsh Saita. Harsh, good morning. Clearly, if you go to see, it's the first day of the new year, and from a market's perspective, it's going to be interesting to see what comes along. We are near the day's highest levels, but pretty much a flattish move from the negative to the positive now. 21,740 is where Nifty 50 is trading at. Let's quickly pull up Bank Nifty as well and see what's happening on that front. There you go. Again, we've just managed to come up into the positive, trading above the 48,300 mark. Overall, if you see in terms of the advanced decline ratio in terms of Nifty 50 as well, that's going to be interesting. Pretty much 50-50, 26 advances versus 29 declines. That's what it comes across. And similarly, overall basis as well, you have the advances which are outpacing the declines in trade. Coal India, a good move coming in there. It has been one of the top picks for 2024 by M. Motilal Oswal, and since then the stock has been buzzing. Let's pull up a 5-day chart of Coal India and you'll see the kind of gains that we've seen on this counter as well. Interesting moves. There you go. In the last 1 month, 11% up move. Tata Motors continues the up move. In fact, it's not only Tata Motors, but if you see in terms of the other names as well, from a JBM Auto to Electra, all the companies with regards to the electric bus space have been buzzing over the last 2 trading sessions on the back of the number that the ministry has indicated with regards to the plan for the next 7 years. So strong moves coming in terms of the EV space as well as the ancillary EV space. Adani Enterprises, UPL as well as Adani Ports are few of the top gainers. On the losing end, you have Eicher Motors and M&M, and this is M&M has already announced its auto sales numbers. Eicher Motors is down 1.5% as well. Bharti Airtel, LTI, Mindtree, Bajaj Finance are few of the other losers in trade. Let's pull up the mid cap and the broad cap, the small cap index, I beg your pardon, and see what's happening on that front, because that's interesting to watch out for. Clearly outperforming the benchmark indices in trade. Few names that I want to take over here. JBM Auto, we already spoke about. Idea is an interesting one to watch out for in today's session. 9 to 10% is the kind of moves. India Glycols is up 8 to 9%, and this is on the back of the fundraise plan that the board will be considering today at their board meeting. Dhampur Sugar is also in focus in today's day of trade, and again, this is on the back of the board meeting that will be held on the 3rd, and this is on the back of the buyback announcement that could be expected. On the losing end, you have names like Safari Industries, Sonata Software. These are few of the names that are losing out in trade. So overall, Harsh, if you go to see from a market perspective, a lot of stock-specific action is what we are seeing. And again, it's the broader markets which are continuing to outperform the benchmark indices on the first day of the year. So interesting moves. How markets take this? Do we see profit booking at higher levels and buy on dips as a strategy is what we need to wait and watch from here on.
Well, absolutely, Hiral. And Nifty IT seeing a bit of a cool off today as well. That's the other piece making headlines. But let's quickly switch focus to Man Infra. The company has received an approval for redevelopment of luxury residential project in Mumbai. Of course, this is on the back of the board also receiving a green light to raise 550 crore rupees via a preferential issue. Now, to discuss this and more, we have with us Parag Shah, who's the chairman emeritus of Man Infra, who's joining us. Good morning, sir. Sir, talk to us about the potential of the current new project which you have announced. Also, what does this do to your mix? We have seen in recent weeks multiple announcements with regard to new real estate projects which Man Infra has been getting into. So how does the mix shift, say, 1 or 2 years from now with regard to RE versus EPC?
Good morning and Happy New Year to all of you. See, the company was historically a EPC contracting company. So from my career, from 91 to almost 2012-13, we were doing almost 100% EPC contracting only, mainly into port sector and some of the residential area. At present, we are spread all over Mumbai, like from Koregaon, Mira Road, Parle, Juhu, Tardev, Pali Hill, BKC, Ghatkopar, Mulund. So there are various projects which we are doing on a redevelopment project. As far as this new announcement is there, see, basically it's just Amir Khan is staying in that building. That's why it is becoming more famous. Otherwise, it's a redevelopment project. No doubt Amir Khan is holding a major portion over there. There we are looking a very premium segment flat we got the approvals over there from the society, and further work will be started. Tardev, we are doing one of the tallest tower in the country. As on today, it's a 312-meter height. Approval is there, and the work has started in full swing. Thank you.
Right. Mr. Shah, this is Hiral on this side. Firstly, again, a happy new year to you as well. My quick question coming to you is, your focus is Bombay. And taking Mumbai into consideration, the registration of properties in Mumbai city itself has seen a good increase, right? And the kind of redevelopment projects that you have undertaken so far, what's the kind of revenue recognition timeline do you have for all of them?
I don't think I will be able to commit like this on television because it's a various projects, various time frame is there. As far as this new announcements, this Amir Khan plot, this Virgo Society, which is at the Pali Hill, and the equal one more project in BKC, which Kalanagar, which will be starting in next 6 months' time, and the tenure of the work should be 2.5 years.
So the question what I ask you is, so firstly, see, if you see in the first half of FY24, you've seen a sales of around 0.9 lakh square feet of carpet area, and the sales value was around 235 odd crores. The collection was around 465 odd crores in the first half. What does it look like in the second half then?
You have to understand the Manan Infra's model. We work more on a DM model also. So where the top line will not come in my books, but the bottom line profit comes in my book. So if you want to compare this apple to apple, it will be very difficult for analysts also. Not only the stock exchange shareholders, but for the analysts also, it becomes sometimes very difficult to understand because like say for Tardev project and the Parla project, where we are earning the DM fees. So say if suppose we have been able to sell at 1 lakh rupees a square feet, my fees is 14,000 rupees a square feet. And that 14,000 rupees comes as a net profit to us because all the overheads will be burned by the project. So the top line will also be 14,000 rupees and the bottom line will also be 14,000 rupees. So I would recommend all investors also and all analysts also not to look at only the top line. You will have to understand the bottom line.
Right, and try and help us understand and break that down. You're currently going at a rough run rate with regard to top line of roughly 2,000 crore. How much of that will be your margin on that rough 2,000 crore odd top line? And going forward, where do you see your top line go as well as your margins go?
We are very, very bullish for next 5 years, actually, today. Because we have all plant, machinery, equipment, shuttering, manpower, financial closure, and the money liquidity in a bank. And the project acquired, which we have till 2028-29. It's almost 2.5 crore square feet jobs which we are having in hand. And it's nothing there on the MOU stage. Everything is on the execution stage now. So we are very, very bullish on next 5 years. And you will see the company will be at a new height.
Right. Mr. Shah, I was just looking at your real estate ongoing projects and taking your business model into consideration. Let's talk about all the projects which are ongoing from Daisar, Ghatkopar, Juhu, Mulund to Tardev. If I have to take the total sales potential, taking the sales potential into consideration and the model of either the own part, JV or DM, how much is the revenue potential and the bottom line potential for you out of these projects?
Okay, you want to go into bifurcation. Say for my Mira Road project, the total project size is around 4 million square feet. It's a revenue share model which we had not purchased the land. So on the top line, 25% we are sharing with our landowner, and the 75% comes to us. But when we come to our Goregaon, it's a SRA project, it's a 24-acre land, and the approvals and everything is started taking care, where we are 1/3 partner. Once we come to a Juhu the project is nearer to a completion. I think by June, July, we will be able to get the position, or we'll be able to give a OC and the position to our customers, where it's a redevelopment project. And in that redevelopment project, we are a 70% partner. When we come to a Parla is around 5.5 lakh square feet job, where the total construction area is around 15 lakh square feet. But on a 5 lakh square feet sellable area, the DM fees is 14,000, 14%. When we come to Pali Hill, the Pali Hill is a joint venture between the three developers, which we just announced day before yesterday. And it's a redevelopment project. Again, the same group is their partner in the Kalanagar, which is also a very luxurious project, where also we estimate somewhere around 75,000-80,000 rupees a square feet output over there. These two projects will start now. When we go to Tardev, the Tardev is again a DM model, where my top line and bottom line will remain same. And there we are very, very bullish. Market sales is also good. We just started the project before 2.5 months. And in such a large, tall building also, I'm happy that we sold almost 15 to 17% in last 2 months' time.
Sure.
We are starting one luxury project at Ghatkopar,
Sure.
which we are planning to announce on 18th.
Right.
Of this month. Yeah.
Right. Right. So I also want to try and cover your debt, right? Your debt levels have halved, which is definitely a positive. Where would you see that debt number go at? Because what I'm looking at in terms of your working capital days have come down quite significantly. And does that aid your debt, and therefore will debt levels remain at this level? Are you happy at where you are, or would you look to start increasing it going forward?
Actually, frankly speaking, it's a zero debt company. The debt what we are seeing in the books, which is a partner's contribution. But whenever we do a joint venture, we always keep a less capital, and all partners bring the money of their portion as a loan. So that's actually a financial model. So whatever the debt you are seeing is actually it's not a loan debt. It's a partner's contribution, except I think 100 crore rupees IndusInd Bank loan is there, which is a construction finance approval which we have taken. That's all. But against that, we are sitting on a cash liquidity of more than 400 crore rupees. And we don't see we will need any that in next 2 years' time.
Mr. Shah, seeing the way the real estate space and the EPC space has been picking up in the country, what's the growth that you're looking at for a Man Infra in FY24? And what's the next milestone that you as a company want to achieve?
For a EPC, there is a big scope. Because as far as the real estate and the commercial building contractors, there are hardly any contractors left. The amount of work which is coming up and the EPC contractors, it's not a mixed match. The 20% is the contractors are there, but the scope is there for 100%. That's the situation in the real estate overall in Mumbai. Not in Mumbai, in India also. As far as the port sectors are there, I'm very bullish in the infrastructure in the Modi government in next 5 years. I strongly believe that the infrastructure work will have a threefold multiples in next 2 to 3 years' time.
Thank you so much for all of those perspectives, Mr. Shah. Wishing you a very, very happy and prosperous 2024. And thank you so much for having this conversation and giving us and our viewers that perspective. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
But with that, we'll slip into a very, very short break. More, of course, on the other side. So stay tuned. You're watching NDTV Profit.
Welcome back. You're watching the small and mid-cap show on NDTV Profit. Moving on, it is 2024 and let's understand what are the top picks of HDFC Securities. Joining us on the show is Deepak Jasani, Head of Retail Research, to talk about his outlook and top bets. Deepak, good morning and welcome to the show, and wish you and the team at HDFC Securities a happy new year as well.
Good morning, and wish you, your team and your viewers a very happy and prosperous new year.
Deepak, my first question coming to you is overall a quick one in terms of what is your key expectation from a market's perspective for 2024, and what are your top sectors?
Yeah, so as far as the markets are concerned, I think the upward momentum in the markets can continue after a brief round of consolidation, which we expect in the over the next few weeks. So till about in the first quarter of this calendar, I think we are quite comfortable with the markets. The institutional flows and the local flows will continue to be positive. We may have some hiccups from the Q3 numbers, but that is some time away. I think we have about 3 or 4 weeks from now. There may be a mixed kind of outcome of the Q3 numbers, so with some sectors doing well and some others not doing well. But as long as the funds fund flow is strong, I don't think we may see a very sharp correction due to that. So net, I think for the first quarter, we are quite positive, maybe till about the beginning of March or the mid of March. Post that, I think we will have anxiety about the elections, about the rate cuts, about the monsoons, etc., etc. So in case we have risen quite much more from here, then there could be reason for the traders and investors to become defensive and take some profits out.
Right, so let me, Harsh also joining in the conversation, trying to understand your top picks. You know, we've seen financials being the focus because they haven't done enough, especially the larger banks. So within the financial basket as well as within the banking basket, which is the smaller basket within financials, what are your top picks? What are HDFC's top picks? And could you talk to us about why those are really standing out for you?
Yeah, so coming to the earlier question from, I think, Hiral, I think the sectors, in terms of sectors, we are positive on BFSI, we are positive on real estate, cement, auto, infrastructure and industrial, and pharma to an extent going forward. Now, within banks, your question is, we feel that the focus could now shift back to the large cap banks, the larger banks. The mid-cap banks, the small finance banks have done well over the last few quarters. And in some cases, we think that the large cap bank valuations are lower than those of some mid-cap and some small finance banks and some NBFCs, which I think cannot continue for long. So in that sense, we have a buy on Axis Bank among the we have Axis Bank as one of our top picks for 2024. Now, the bank is the third largest bank in India and has shown some good numbers in terms of advances growth, asset quality, etc. It has the City acquisition, the City retail acquisition has sort of weighed on the valuations and the numbers of the bank so far. I think now, going forward, I think they will get the benefit of the synergies from the acquisition, and that could lead to a faster growth in earnings and a better valuation.
Right. Deepak, very quickly, we are short on the show, but you are positive on Adani Enterprises as well as other names like Info Edge, JSW Steel, Pidilite Industries. A quick rationale on these?
So Adani Ports, I think, is the largest commercial port operator. And here, I think the EXIM trade of India will continue to do well, and the way Adani Ports has been growing, almost 2 times the volume growth of the overall India ports, I think it says something about the quality and the professionalism of the company. Now, apart from Adani Adani Ports, we are also bullish in Bajaj Finserv, basically the holding company of the financial services of the Bajaj Group. There, I think insurance, life, and general, plus the Bajaj Finance related lending business should lead to growth in their earnings and their valuations. GAIL, we are another pick is GAIL, which is a leading natural gas transmission and distribution company. It is one of the largest CGD company in India. It was also into petrochemical. I think the valuations of GAIL and the dividend yield still continues to remain attractive even after the runoff we have seen recently. Grasim is another one. I think Grasim is also a holding company in a sense, holds Ultratech Cement and Aditya Birla Capital. The main company is into VSF, textile, and now into paints. So that is one thing. The paints is something which can sort of lead to a re-rating of the stock going forward. They are going to launch the paints business in sometime later in 2024. InfoEdge again is a premier online classifieds company and has a lot of websites and portals. It also owns a lot of stake in other new age businesses. So there is something which we think is something to hold on and get benefited out of. Infosys and JSW Steel are the other picks that we have, and Pidilite is the last one that we have.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jasani, for perspective on all of those. Some very interesting names put out by you as well as HDFC Securities on how you see 2024 start to play out. So thank you so much for that. We're out of time on this edition of the show, unfortunately. But as we wrap up on the show, here's what Telecom Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw had to say about Vodafone. In conversation with my colleague Tamanna, he spoke about Vodafone. Listen in to this exclusive chat.
इतना क्लियर है कि आज टेलीकॉम सेक्टर में जो अनसर्टेनिटीज़ थी, AGR की डेफिनेशन क्या है, स्पेक्ट्रम के यूसेज में क्या होना चाहिए, करीब 99% अनसर्टेनिटीज़ ख़त्म हो चुकी है. आज इन्वेस्टर्स टेलीकॉम सेक्टर की तरफ एक नए नज़रिए से देख रहे हैं. इस टेलीकॉम एक्ट के बाद में जो रही सही अनसर्टेनिटीज़ थी वो भी ख़त्म हो गई है.
Sir, but to come back to the point of Vodafone idea.
देखो वो उनके शेयर उनके मैनेजमेंट से पूछो.
Let me ask you a question.
It's a listed company. I don't want to comment on it.
So just the simple point, just if I may, the government has stepped in and saved this company.
We have done whatever is supposed to be done. I don't want to comment on companies which are listed. सबके शेयर मार्केट के में prices होते हैं. I don't want to comment on any such. Whether it's a railway company or telecom company or electronics company, anything. I just don't want to comment on any listed company.
Okay. No, I want to understand because there are concerns about a duopoly forming in the country.
अब नहीं concerns.
Okay.
अभी तो telecom sector is looking like a fresh investment cycle has already started in telecom sector.